Okay, transitioning to the next subject, Jiu Jitsu. So going back to when I said you just feel a little bit different living in a city, you're aware that there could be danger. You're aware that you have to be more vigilant where you go. So after getting my car stolen, it kind of woke me up to the reality that I never in my life took any kind of martial arts. I've never had any training in how to defend myself. And as a woman walking around in a city, it's probably smart that I do know how to defend myself. So I was able to find a local jiu-jitsu place, and I just want to talk about my first experience there. And if anybody else is considering jiu-jitsu, first of all, the reason I chose jiu-jitsu was because I had done some research online, and I was like, what is the best method of women for self-defense? And jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu especially, came up as a great option for self-defense for women because it's a type of martial art. And I'm sure in a way they're all similar this way, but this one, there was just a lot of articles pointing specifically to Brazilian jiu-jitsu as it being a martial arts where it's less about body mass and more about your skills. It's more about your intellect and how to problem solve and use your skills. So it's a great option for women to defend themselves because women naturally are going to be weaker than men, and women are naturally going to be smaller than men. I mean, there's obviously some cases where it's not, but for the most part, I would say the majority of women are weaker physically than men and much smaller than men, like bone structure, height, whatnot. Because of that, it's an amazing option for women to learn self-defense techniques because you can be in a dangerous situation and you can use your brain and your skills to get out of the situation and not your physical strength. So that's why I decided to join it. It was an amazing experience. I've only done one class so far, but it was a free trial class. And after doing the trial class, I'm going to join the first week of February and have it be a regular practice for me. A couple of things I noticed about the first trial class in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And remember, it's only one class, so I can't speak a lot, but I was able to take in and learn a lot just within that one class. First thing was one thing I noticed is that they were giving discounts to women because apparently a lot of women are afraid to join this sport because it's very male dominated. So a lot of the women feel left out in the classes. So the first thing I appreciated about this school in particular is that they were giving out 30% discounts for the monthly membership for women, which I think is incredible. He was basically explaining he wants to break the male-dominated stereotype of this sport, and he wants more women to be involved in the community. So that was already a plus for me. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to save money doing this. Not save money, but save money going to this school compared to others. Unless this is a common thing that they give discounts to women. I don't know. The second thing I wanted to say was I already saw within the first class how beneficial this really of a sport, martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is because, for one, there was an energy in the classes where there was competition but support all at the same time. So you can tell this wasn't just like people beating the crap out of each other to try to dominate. They were helping each other. I don't even know how to explain it, but if you've done the sport, you know exactly what I mean. There was a really strong feeling of camaraderie there. They have a practice where they force you to like give everybody a high five before you start the class and after you start the class. And I guess that's standard practice to remember that you're there to help and love and support each other. That's just a general part of the practice. So I noticed, while yes, this is a sport where people are physically fighting and wrestling each other, that they're not doing it from a place of trying to dominate and conquer. They're doing it of a place to try to learn, and they're there to help each other learn. So that was the first thing I noticed, was just the love and support. Secondly, another thing I noticed why this is such a great sport is because, like I said, it really forces you to get into your problem solving mentality, because this isn't a brute, blunt, sport that you're dominating with your physical energy. It's more a sport of skill. And knowing how to get out of certain situations and being able to use that quickly. In a way, it's similar to chess. I mean, I guess the main difference between this and chess, though, would be that with chess, you have a long time to think about a move. In this case, you need to train, and then in the moment where you're actually in a physical altercation, you need to be able to think really quickly. So I guess that would be the main difference. But either way, it's similar to chess, that you're in a situation and you have to get out of it, and you have to use logic to think about which would be the smartest move to make. So it's really cool in that way, that for me especially, I think it's going to open my mind in ways that I really need right now, because I wouldn't call myself the most logical thinker. I think in the past I've been more of an emotional thinker, an intuitive thinker, which isn't bad either. I think it's great to be emotional, intuitive, like despite what people say, but I haven't really I don't think logic for me is my strongest suit. It doesn't come to me as naturally. So it is a part of me that I want to exercise. So I think this is going to be a brilliant way for me to exercise it, because I'm forcing myself to think about problem solving. And I think that's, it's a skill I need to develop. I would say those are the two main things I noticed. I would also say that it's a great workout in general. I felt the instructor was even explaining to me, but I felt it as he was explaining it to me, was that you have to move your body in different ways that you wouldn't normally move in a typical sport like weightlifting and whatnot. So you actually end up building strength and strengthening muscles that you didn't even think about, like certain muscles like really deep in there you end up strengthening. The last thing I will comment about what I've noticed about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is that the people in the class are so humble, so chill, very health oriented. I noticed that everybody in the class seemed to be very fit, and I think to do something like this you do need to be fit, because you need to be agile. I actually think to a degree having a smaller body is probably a benefit in a sport like this, because you can move with more agility. So everybody was fit, but it wasn't like bulked out type of intense muscle body types. It was more lean but muscular body types. So that was really inspiring to be in a room of people who obviously really care about their health. I mean, I was talking to some of the people in the class and they were talking about their diets and how they tried certain diets out to help their sport and everything like that. So to me, that was incredibly inspiring. So it's a great opportunity to meet health minded people, because I myself am obsessed with health and I'm always thinking about health. And sometimes people think I'm crazy, but I feel like in an athletic environment, all the people are going to be in a similar mindset. So that was really inspiring for me to be around so many healthy people. And again, so many chill people. It is a male dominated sport. So there were a lot of men in there. And I was afraid of that in the beginning. And the instructor was just saying that's why he gives women a discount, because a lot of women come in there afraid of different things. Like I was afraid, like, what if guys are creepy, like that type of stuff. I didn't get any of those vibes. Like all the men were total gentlemen, totally polite. And I was a mess, by the way. Like I feel like if these men were not polite, it would have been a disaster. Like my like tits were they give you a uniform to wear for this sport. I don't remember what the exact uniform is called. If someone could drop that in the comment section, but maybe I'll remember it next time. But there's a specific uniform that you wear in the sport. Because it was a free trial class, I don't own one, so he gave me one to wear. It was oversized on me and like it kept falling off on me and my tits were falling out. I mean, it was crazy. Like it was like, wow, this is going really great as a female. Like my first day in a combat sport. I mean, like I got my period in the class. I mean, it was crazy. No one noticed it, but like I could feel it coming on. It was wild. But clearly having this feminine energy, not knowing what I was doing, I thought I was going to get creeped on, and I did not get that at all. All I got was like kindness, politeness, gentlemen, really supportive men. And there actually are also women in the program too. Not as many as the men, but the instructor was explaining to me that the women have a really tight like bond in there, and that they like arrange parties together to hang out and stuff like that. So that was another thing that really excited me, was that I could meet a community of women that I vibe with. So I'm really excited. I highly recommend trying Jiu-Jitsu out as a female if you have never tried it before. It could be a little bit intimidating at first, but I plan on continuing. I'm going to sign up the first week of February and continue. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about on this episode If you're somebody who's easily grossed out by body fluid type stuff, I don't recommend you listen to this portion of the episode.